Good day, fellow lessons. My name is Samantha Ngu. I am a proud member of LESA, Baltimore, and I attended A Lady of Lords between 1985 and 1990. It is an honor and a pleasure to take you through my thoughts on networking based on the reciprocity framework. I have three main sections. I'm going to start with an introduction that grounds us on what networking is. Then I'm going to take us through the steps on how to effectively network based on the reciprocity framework. And then I'll provide a conclusion that kind of summarizes everything that I'm sharing today. These are based on my perspectives that have been garnered over 25 years working in corporate America, as well as some tips from when I attended business school. But before we get started, I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for being here today, especially because networking can feel daunting, especially when you're in a new country. However, it's very essential for all fields. Today, I'll start by sharing practical tips and a framework based on reciprocity to help us all build meaningful connections. Let's start by redefining networking. It's not just about exchanging business cards or LinkedIn connections. It's about building meaningful relationships in your fields, across your fields. However, these relationships can lead to collaborations, job opportunities, and valuable insights. I want to really impress on us all to think about networking as a two-way street. You give and you receive. You focus on what you can do for others and not just what you can get. An example would be meeting someone, telling them about yourself, learning about them, and then at the back of your mind thinking about how do I really help them become the best they can be. In terms of tips for effective networking, there are a couple of things I want us to think about. One is leveraging your expertise by sharing your knowledge and insights related to your field. You can do this by offering to host a workshop or give a presentation on a relevant topic. And I think if we think back over the activities during the various BrEW weeks that we've been a part of, you will see that we've got a whole bunch of experts who have willingly provided their expertise to the rest of their lesson sisters. Another tip for effective networking is to join professional associations. They require your personal time. However, this is an opportunity to become a member of an organization in your field, attend their events, attend webinars, or attend workshops to meet like-minded professionals. A third lever that we can all pull is to utilize social media. So some people stay away from LinkedIn because they feel it's too personal. However, I strongly advocate for not only signing up for a LinkedIn membership, but also making sure that you're posting articles that are relevant to your field. What this does is it allows employers or like-minded individuals to quickly identify your field of expertise, and you will be surprised at the number of people who will actually reach out. So how do you really leverage LinkedIn and other like-minded social sites? You can do this by sharing articles, commenting on posts, and engaging in discussions that showcase your expertise. I personally don't like sharing personal stuff on LinkedIn. Some people do, but I'll leave it up to the end user to decide how they want to use it. What I do on LinkedIn is generally post on topics that I think are very relevant to my field of expertise, which is banking and mergers and acquisitions. A fourth lever that you can pull is to set clear goals. When you're networking, you need to understand what you want to get out from the particular interaction. Is it a job lead? Is it mentorship? Or is it collaboration? This clarity will help you as an individual to approach networking strategically. One of the things that I did when I went to business school, given I had been working in banking, I was very, very clear as to what I wanted to get out of each interaction. And a case or an example would be when the chief financial officer for Cornell reached out to all the women, and she talked about her journey to where she landed. But she also offered to mentor us. And she was kind of surprised when I was the only person who reached out. And maybe what's not known to most people is, after I got my MBA, I actually spent 2 months interning for Joanne. And up until this day, I am still in contact with her. And every career move that I make, I always run by her so that way I can get an outside-in perspective. This would not have been possible if I did not understand why I was networking and what I wanted to get out of the relationship. The fifth point that I want to point out is to practice active listening. So when you meet someone, you should focus on understanding their needs and their experiences before you start thinking about how you would benefit from the relationship. This builds rapport and shows genuine interest. Sometimes you find that you don't listen to understand, you listen to respond. And I really call on all of us to take a pause and make sure that when we're talking to someone, we're actually listening to understand. I think the sixth and most critical lever that you could pull is a follow-up. After you meet someone, send a thank you note or a follow-up message. You need to reference something specific from your conversation to make it personal. And please, please, please do not send canned messages to multiple people. You'll be amazed at how many people actually share messages that they've received. And the one thing that you don't want to do is to have messages, the same message, floating around. Hopefully those levers have provided the foundation for the reciprocity framework. So I'm going to dive into the principle of reciprocity, which is a key to effective networking. What is reciprocity? Think about this as giving first. You offer assistance, you share resources, or you provide introductions. And the reason why this is the most effective tool for networking is it creates goodwill. After you've created goodwill, then becomes a good time for you to ask for help when needed. Do not hesitate to express what you're looking for, as people are often willing to help if they feel valued. But remember, this is a relationship, so you start by giving first, and then you continue by asking very specifically for what you need. A third thing that you need to do is to make sure that you maintain relationships. And that means regularly checking in with your network by sharing updates on your progress and ask about theirs. I have about 5 people that I really value, whose opinions I really value. And I ensure that at least twice a year I reach out to them, generally during major holidays. So whether it's Easter, if I know that they're religious, or it's Christmas or some specific holiday that I think is impactful in their lives, I will generally send a text. The classic example of the law of reciprocity is in 1985, Ethiopia sent $5,000 to Mexico. If everybody remembers, or for those of us who were alive, there was severe famine in Ethiopia in the 80s. Most people could not understand why Ethiopia was offering this aid to Mexico. However, 50 years earlier, Mexico had actually helped Ethiopia fight off the Italians, Mussolini, when they were attacked. And when Mexico was going through their earthquake, Ethiopia felt that obligation to return the favor, even though they were starving. Remember, you start by giving before you ask, and sometimes you don't need to ask to get those favors returned. This is not a tit for tat, but these are practical tools to really help us get to the next level. Again, the exercise calls for us, have that list of 10, work the list, Make sure we have clear goals as to what we want to accomplish, but start by offering help before you ask for assistance. I'm going to end by talking about how networking is a skill that takes time to develop. It is extremely rewarding. Remember to give generously, listen actively, and maintain your connections. By doing so, you will create a strong professional network that can help you and support you in your journey, especially given the current economic conditions globally. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing all of us build connections, and I will take calls from the first 3 people that reach out. Maybe I was remiss in talking about what I do. I lead a team of controllers and agile professionals. I sit on the cusp between technology and accounting, and we help enable month-end reporting for Capital One Bank. Again, I do this in a personal capacity, but I will not be here today if I had not learned about networking, learned on how to leverage my networks, and continue to grow and nurture the networks that I have. Wishing us all tremendous success. God bless LESA, and have a wonderful day. Thank you all. Cold, because the worst thing that you can do is build a good connection or relationship, and then you let it cool off, which makes it impossible or next to impossible for you to get help when you need help. I'm going to give you homework on this. You don't have to do it now, but I really impress on everybody to take some time and jot down what your professional background is, what are you looking to achieve, and then come up with a list of 10 people you think can help you get to the next level. It doesn't matter what you're looking to do. You might be an employee today and you're looking to go into entrepreneurship. By creating that goal and creating a list of people who can help you there and working that list, I guarantee you within the next 12 months, you're going to see tremendous success and changes to your personal situation. A classic example of the law of reciprocity